Just a reminder, today's conference is being recorded.
So, hello everybody to the first XStepCafe session in 2011. And as I said before, Happy New Year to you and to all the listeners and watchers. I don't know how to say that of the recording later on. So, with us we've got Pascal, Peter, Sue, Raghu, and somebody new, Joyce.
Joyce, yes, I'm with FMC.
SMC?
Yes.
FMC. Or which was the name of the company?
FMC.
Okay. So, first time?
I'm on the... Arnie,
yes,
this is Doug Norton. I'm on the call.
Pardon? Who was that?
Arnie, Doug Norton. I'm on the call. I'm on getting ready to get in the WebEx. This is Doug
Hi,
Norton.
Doug. How are you? Great.
Good.
So, Joyce, good to have you here as a new participant.
Thank you.
I think I had contact from somebody else. Was it Sean?
Sean Gordon, yes.
Yeah, from your company. Okay. You had some questions. Okay.
Yes, we're just getting started.
Okay, great. Okay. Right. So I didn't prepare a lot for today. Maybe as always, I'd like to present to you what I did prepare, and then I open up all the session for any questions, unless somebody has a very urgent, pressing comment or question he wants to rush. If that's not the case, I'll quickly bring up my notes here and also share my computer screen maybe. First monitor. Okay, can you see an ERP screen here?
Yes.
On your side? Great.
Yes.
Okay. So what I will do, I got some emails and also points in the topic discussion. Maybe that's also housekeeping. First, I'd like to point out here that I have made some change here in the news section, so that I try to keep that in the ongoing sessions, that I update that link here down there with exactly the date and time of the next session. So when you click here, you will find an overview of that exact session in exactly your time zone somewhere here. So because we had some issues last few times on this time zone, struggling, maybe that's a good help for you all. Another point, somebody mailed me, Markus Hermansen. He said he didn't know how to comment, to write a comment. Maybe it's not too obvious if you go to the cafe topic discussion page where the normal discussion should be done, and also general questions be posed. First, you can scroll all the way down there and just leave a reply like that, or you can just, as a shortcut, click on this little icon here, create new comment, which just brings you all the way down, of course, and then you just say your name and email address, and then write whatever you want to write. So that's some housekeeping here. Okay, there's a new guest coming in. All right. So the first point I wanted to talk about was that's from the same person here. No. Oh, there's somebody having issues with accessing the room. So I'm accepting him all the time, but he's not. Hopefully that will be resolved somehow. Oh no. Oh. Okay. Hopefully I don't get too distracted from that. So the first one is from the topic discussion here, Hiroki. He asked how to display a certain characteristic in the header in terms of label and value, and I want to show this briefly in the system. So I've got here a layout SXS prepared for that, which is pretty simple, but it also shows how it's done generally. So the layout is changed here, especially also if you want to specify a certain style sheet. If you just create such a let me go into change mode here, such a plain process instruction, and you enter manually a characteristic PPPI layout, and then you can enter something there, and there are some rules here how this needs to needs to look like. And what I want to concentrate here is not to specify a style sheet. You might probably already know how to do that, or I have covered it in one of my last sessions, very first sessions maybe. So what I want to concentrate is how to specify certain additional metadata for certain sections in your in the PI sheet. And the most important one, and that's exactly the question from Hiroki, was how to add something new in the header section. And that's done with this little section here. So you have to provide the tag header here, and inside that you say meta and then a string, which is a characteristic name. Yeah? You can provide several of these lines here, so several characteristics here. And you can do the same for phases and instructions. However, these only make sense if you. So that means if you also include them here, they are getting included in the XML in the end, and you then have to make sure that in some sort of custom style sheet that you then make use of that, because I tried it out. There's no standard way of including those characteristics the same way that they are done in the header section, and I will just show you how it is done. So these are just from my little experiments. So I cannot show you something there because I didn't include any custom style sheet there. So I included here this characteristic, okay, and what is also important in that context is that you have to also evaluate this characteristic in the same instruction here. So first PPPI layout with this text string, and then you have to also evaluate this characteristic. In my case, I just evaluated it with a fixed string. So this is just a text dummy. Of course, you want to have it something more variable, so you need to provide a parameter, for example, in this upper X step here, and then you need to, for example, if the parameter is called dummy, of course nobody would call it dummy, but in that case, you just put it like that. So that would mean that this parameter then gets replaced by the real value of that parameter. I leave that with dummy. Next thing I need to point out is, of course, I'm using transaction 026C, which is the customizing transaction for all the characteristics, and that's also good if you're working with classical process instructions. Then you have, and then only then you have got this button here for all this process management stuff, which is old-fashioned. So I don't discuss this here. So the only other thing which is important here is the description. So the description is also then later on used in the header here. All right. So that's what I did, and again, this is the little layout definition. I also, for completeness, did an element here which I generated for all phases, where I also put these two guys here in manually in this instruction to make sure this metadata is also used in the phase context, so that the phase long text and the phase short text is used in the proper spaces. And these are the only other ones that I know of that are implicitly used by the standard style sheet in the PI sheet, and I'll show you in the example how it's looking like. Okay, so let's just create an order here. I'll just create one from that template here. Okay, I'm going to the XSteps, and that's wrong. I choose that. Oops, I have to reset that one here. So I'm changing that so that it is now the layout definition I just showed to you. Nothing else in there, and I can just do the generation for test, because that's all we need here. I save that one here. Send the control recipe. There's a test one here, so I need to flag this. And okay, everything looks good. And look at it. Okay, so first, and that was the original question. I'm opening up this one here, and I'm seeing I'm seeing more entries now here, and that's I did change something before, and I didn't know that this has an effect. So, but the one effect that I wanted to show was this first one here, which is the one I included for the header here, and obviously I use the same characteristics in the generated instructions here, and therefore it is also captured here in the header. So that's something you need to know. So better really choose a unique characteristic name so that you make sure that you don't mess up here with in your header. Now, so that was the one I wanted to show, which is then displayed here. So this is the description of the characteristics and the characteristic, and this is the value. Okay. The other thing I wanted to show is this one here. So you see that the short text here is now displayed inside this little section here. So that's only because I've explicitly put that PPPI phase short text characteristic in that instruction, as shown before. And you see this little thing here, and I think I've got. No, I need to. To show you this, I need to do something more. So I'm going back to the order, because I don't have a long text in any of the phases, so I need to do that here. So let's choose the second phase here and specify something more in long text test. So that's my long text here. So you see it is valued here. I'm going back again and create that again. Hopefully that will work. Okay. Now real quick. And that's the one here. So hopefully, no. Here it goes. Yeah. So you see that in the standard style sheet, you see that this is also taking over the long text. So if you've got a very large long text, you will see obviously a very large pop-up window here. You can also use this information here explicitly in your instructions. So that's what I did here. I also used, for example, the phase long text here as just an output field, which is rather obvious. So that's nothing special here. So, but that's what I wanted to show concerning metadata. Excuse me. So, any questions on that from your side? Any comments?
No.
No? Okay.
No, this is good because we had reached the limitation of the short text, so this is something we can use to have longer phase labels.
So, and actually, some of the questions can be really also answered in the plain help. So the help in terms of PI sheets is really very extensive. You just have to dig into it and really take your time. And one tip, maybe you can, if you use Google, for example, you can say cite help.sap.com and then look for something there. And there's the very first thing here, layout definition for additional information. And that's exactly in the documentation where you find all these tips here, also with an example here, what this looks like. Okay. So that was this question from Hiroki, and I wanted to show up from the mail from Markus Hermansen here, who asked something else here. Is about commands and events. I mean, I think I covered it here and there. I can maybe briefly go over all the different commands and events also. So if you add this command element here, you will find in the drop-down a lot of choice of different commands you can use, and of course maybe they are not that obvious. From my point of view, I find them pretty obvious, but maybe I just point out some things here, what these mean, what the differences are here. Basically, I don't use these. I'm actually not sure what they really do. I'm using the specific one which have two parts here. So like document means the whole document, so the PI sheet. Document log means log the PI sheet. Document report means report all the data. So if there are any instructions filled out in a way that you can complete those, then they are completed. Document save is also obvious. Save the document. Unlock. Then the same for process instructions. There are also other things here like activate and deactivate, lock or unlock. Complete is obvious, I think. Maybe I explain also the difference between locking, unlocking, and activation, deactivation for those who don't know yet. So, for example, if you've got an instruction which has a signature or something which you normally would have to fill in to be able to, in the end, to complete the PI sheet. If you deactivate such an instruction, you can complete the PI sheet anyway. So it's really deactivated. So it's not relevant anymore for that PI sheet. That's also the reason why you should really restrict that. There's a possibility in the control recipe destination customizing where you can say, okay, this is only possible with a signature from a user to do these actions, these activation, deactivations. If you lock or unlock, if you lock an instruction, and if that instruction, for example, is essential for the PI sheet, mandatory input field, something like that, and it is locked and it's not filled in, and you cannot complete the PI sheet. So it's just locked. You cannot do anything with it, but in the end, you have to unlock it somehow to really also do this. It's a way to force a certain sequence of steps. So you unlock the first phase and lock the rest of the things, and then you complete it, and then you unlock the next ones based on certain conditions, commands and events, for example. Okay, and Right. So the first part of these blocks here is process instruction. That's obviously the smallest part. Well, table line is maybe even smaller. The smallest part of the PI sheet. Step is the section between each signature. So if you've got a normal signature, a signature that is not in a table, for example, then these signatures spawn steps. So the whole section between two signatures is a step. So it can also span multiple phases if there are no signatures in between. So that's a step. Table is obvious, and in table there are different things there as well, because you can also have a command like add line. I'm using that quite often as well. And then there are sections for table line, and that's basically it. So that's all the options you've got here in commands. On the event side, and we can just look at the events here. I'm going here. There's, well, first of all, if you start the for help here, there are external events, and those are events that come from certain things like OPC data servers or something like that, or other stuff here. But these are special events. I'm covering more these PI sheet internal events now, and they look pretty much the same like the commands. They are, I think, pretty much also self-explanatory based on my explanation on the commands. So there's like saving, reporting, reported. So the difference between reporting and reported is a slight difference. So it's are you in the process of reporting, or is it already reported? So it's just a timing tuning thing, I think. Logged in, logged off is also something which is quite convenient, and and the rest is, I think, pretty much like this. Maybe also table line adding and added is something which you might use pretty often, maybe. So I think, and I always have to try it out myself. I always confuse it myself. I think if you use adding, then it is if you have that command in the table line and you say adding, then it means, okay, I'm adding an additional line. And I think if you choose the event added, then it's okay. Am I the line that is added? So that's what I think it is. But I need to try it out myself to really be 100% sure. So there's a slight difference here, which you could make use of. Right. So that was a little bit I wanted to point out. One important thing here, of course, in the events is the parameter changed event. Handle with care, because if you've got a lot of parameters involved in your context, for example, if you've got a function module with a lot of parameters that can be changed, then there might be a lot of events coming in one row, and you might end up in a call of a function module multiple times, because it is really handling each event separately. So there are some custom issues I've seen regarding that. Okay. Any questions on this?
The command add line. I was adding it and trying to see it somehow in the XML data file. Actually, I couldn't find it. I could find it in the XSL. I could find it in, but I could not find how is it.
It's not called command. It's called execute. It's, I think, yeah. So you have to look for the word execute somewhere.
Okay.
I think, yeah. It's the same. It's the same like function modules or manufacturing data access things. Mm-hmm. I think. So I'm not entirely sure, but that's what my initial guess would be.
Because Sue, thanks for the information you posted. I had the problem, or I still have it, if you are trying to fill in a table with barcode and you don't want to switch to the next line, I want that whenever I'm in the last field of a line, I want that the cursor automatically goes to the next newly created line. And so you told me changing the style sheet when a new line is added, cursor is positioned on that new line. I'm still trying to find out how to do that.
If you want, we can agree on having that as a topic for the next session, and Sue could show it to all of us.
That would be great, because
she's allowed to.
I'd have to try to figure that out. Somebody put that together for us, so I might be able to. I'll have to take a look.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was trying on Christmas vacation, I took some XSL documents to try to find out how the style sheet is working. Then I tried to find out the data XML, which is created by the XStep or by one process order, and actually I could not find where is the add line. And I even tried in the, you do have the possibility as in a body to add something on some of the commands, like activate, like add line, like complete. There is a body where you can input some commands, but it's empty. So I tried.
Okay, interesting. I've never touched that.
Yeah, the thing that we did that may not be very appealing to everybody, but we were forced to do it, was that when we first went live with PI sheets, the operators were adding lines too often, and then they didn't have any data, and we hadn't given them the context menu to deactivate the line, so then there were issues with blank lines in the PI sheet. So what we were forced to do was, in the style sheet, when they click on the add line icon, they're given a pop-up that says, do you really want to add a line? And then when they say no, of course, it just returns them back to the line that they were on. And if they say yes, it adds a line and positions the cursor on the new line. And that's all done in the style sheet, and I think it's a function call, or a baddie call or something. That's what I'd have to get the details of to show. But that's, I mean, it's not very desirable, because other areas now have said, well, why do we have to say yes every time? But it was to slow them. It was really to slow them down, because they were clicking, and they would get too many rows. So, you know, and that's it's all connected with that, and I don't know if that's the solution you're looking for.
I mean, what you can also do, I mean, that's maybe what I missed to explain also here is, and that's a very favorite thing. So table add line. If you say table add line and hide,
right.
Then you disable this add line button of a table, which might be desirable if you find some other way to find out whether or not to create a new line. And you can do that with a certain function module, which then sets a trigger value. I use numerical values there, so that I can use then formulas to decide for a command, okay, add a new line.
Right, and we use the hide quite a bit, because we have some places where they only want to be able to add one row, for instance.
Yeah. Arnie,
they only want one row, and that we do hide quite often. But
yes.
Arnie, this is Doug. We had that same issue, Sue, that operators were creating extra lines. So we basically went to master data and said, when you make this product, you're going to get 2 pallets, and every pallet's going to have 10 drums. So, Arnie, we do the same thing you just talked about. It's driving with a formula that said, I'm going to give you 2 pallets with 10 drums. You're going to get 20 lines. So we do the hide icon so that they never see the icon until. But again, we have a predetermined.
Okay. Oh, that's of course if you know how many lines you need, then you can do this. With tabular values.
That's right.
Right. That's easy that way.
And we don't know it, but actually, what I think you can do, you can add it in, you can implement it in a body where you have access to the add line command. And for example, we took one of the commands, I think it was deactivate the whole PI sheet. We popped up with a message, do you really want to deactivate? You know what it means.
Right.
Yeah, but that I mean, that is, you can really do with the signature. You know, with when you restrict this, so that you have to enter a signature, and you can restrict that to certain people that can deactivate something.
Yeah, but we were handling some of the commands as, with specific actions, and I know, or I can show you where the body exists and where you can input commands, but I could not find how to add line automatically when you are entering the last field of a table line.
The last, yeah, I mean.
You can add the line.
What I mean, I showed this in my fourth session with the weighing scenario. There I have a huge function module anyhow which calculates many things there when you complete a line, and then it checks whether the total quantity is already in tolerance, and if not, if there's still missing quantity that needs to be weighed, then upon completion of that line, it creates a new line, because it sets a status to 1, from 0 to 1, and then there is a command with a formula trigger, with like that, where I say, okay, if a parameter bigger than 0 or something like that, or not equal 0, then create a new line. So that's what you can do, and you can also do that with a push of a button. You can just have a very simple function module which just sets the status to 1, and then you press the button, and then you can also do that, and you can do more than this little button which just creates a line.
But I don't want the user to have to go to a screen. He just scans the row, then there is the next line to do, and he scans again. If he has to go to the screen and push a button, he has to do something else. And if he enters a new line, or if a new line is automatically entered, I want the cursor to be in the first field of the new line.
And that's a whole different thing, and that's what Sue has managed to do with the style sheet modification. So that's not about how to create a new line. It's about how to make sure that the cursor is on the beginning of the new line.
Yeah, but Sue, if you are pushing a button or something in the screen.
Yeah, we're clicking on the add a line icon.
Yeah, so I don't want the user to have to go to the screen. You see, if he is, for example, he has a line where he has, for example, 20 boxes to scan and add some information. So he wants to input 20 lines. So he starts with the first box, scans, let's say, 3 barcodes, and the line is entered in 3 fields, and then automatically it goes to the next line.
So in your scanner itself, can you program to have a carriage return at the end of that third field? I'm not sure if a carriage return. I tried it on the screen. If I'm at the last field and I do a carriage return, does it go to the next?
You can use tabs. I mean, you have to check. Sometimes you need one, maybe you need 2 tabs that you include there, and the barcode scanner, and the tabs really do that trick.
Okay.
Try to use one or multiple tabs, and you will succeed with that, I think.
Okay.
So with the combination, what you're looking for, though, is you want to scan the barcode. You want it to know that it's at the end, so that would be like a tab, like you're saying, Ernie. But then you want it to add a line and position the cursor ready for scan in the new line.
Correct.
That's what you're trying to do.
The new line is not yet there.
And the line is not yet there.
That's what his challenge is, right?
And there's
so
more than one
tab needs to signal I'm done and create a new line and position the cursor.
Correct.
And there are more than one field in a line?
More than one field in a line.
Okay, then you have to use tab to go from one field to another field and in the next line. But the only way in this thing, or in this case, I think, would be to use enter or return and have a function in the last field, which is adding a new line and positioning the cursor in the new line.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I think you have to use return in this case.
But maybe we could postpone that if it's possible, Sue, that you could demonstrate that, and maybe in the next time. That would be really great.
I haven't got that working, Arnie. I haven't got that scenario working.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, I thought you.
No, not that scenario. That's what I would like. I would also like to see that.
I thought you already figured it out.
To be used. No, because ours is keyed on clicking the add a line field. So we haven't gotten the barcodes. We're having the operator hit the keyboard as well as scanning, and that's why what you're asking for here would be a great thing for all of us, I think, because we haven't got that working yet either. We've worked around
Arnie,
it. We make the operator be next to a laptop that's on a cart that's right there.
Okay.
Arnie, this is Doug. Let me take a shot at that, because I think we have that functionality that we create the new line like we scan handling units. So we scan one handling unit, and if I know I need 10, I bring back a line by knowing that I have 9 more handling units to scan, and I believe we bring our cursor right back in the first line of the first table line of the second row we create, or the third. So let me I might send you an email about how to do that. So if I think we've accomplished that, so
sure,
that would be great.
Okay, that's great.
Okay, right.
Thank you.
I know we've got some new guys here. Maybe want to give them an opportunity to also ask a question, or are you just listening, Joyce?
Well, primarily just listening. I
Okay.
guess Sean had sent you a question regarding the using of XSteps with the template for batch manufacturing.
Yes. Okay. Okay. I mean, that's of course a big topic. Just very briefly, I mean, that template uses the process instructions, and it's sort of you create normal process instructions for making PI sheets with all the characteristics you would need for those instructions, but then you send them as an external control recipe to MRI, and then and you use certain for the process instruction categories. You can provide the name of those categories in customizing, and then in MRI checks what is the name of the categories it sees in the external control recipe. It receives there, and then it looks up certain parameters of inside those characteristics, and then knows, okay, this is a certain building block. I know how it's looking like, and I know which are the variable parts I need to change of my template, and then it displays it on the screen, and so on and so on. So that's what it does. And if you want to use steps, you could probably do the same thing. You can set up a next step, like for example, I'm here in the tree here, and just as an example, if I'm just choosing that one, which I'm not using anyway, I have chosen here that that's type of destination here as being a PI sheet or work instruction, and I set up all these things here, all these fields like input field and output fields, and they all show up in the end also as characteristics here, like these. So pretty much in this case, yes. and if I'm just switching over to external system, it sort of vanishes here all, but internally they are still there. So you can still use them, and you could still send all these things here to an external system, and then choose whatever mechanism you have there, like in that template, to identify certain specific parameters that you want to use in your setup there. So that's what you could do there as well, I think. So that's in a nutshell, maybe very, very condensed what you could do there. It's the same, not in blue, it's in green. same mechanism, but in different color.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Maybe if Sean wants to show up in one of the next sessions, he can also ask questions about that. As maybe you might have found out that I'm not in that area of PI sheet and XStep's anymore, so I don't have too much time to discuss these things because I've got my daily work here in different topics now. Well, anyway, there's somebody else, Dario. I think you also had a question in the topic discussion. Did you? No, it's not listening. Okay, then I'd like to bring up another part of the mail here of Marcus, which is well, maybe a misunderstanding, or I just read it out here. It's about making partial confirmations here of a phase without closing the PI sheet, and I'm reading out of this here. I can confirm partially if I don't enter a signature, but then no process message is created. Probably it's just a setup where a process message is prepared and some input fields which get the value for that process message, and there's just a plain signature afterwards. So there's no possibility to get multiple confirmations done. And I just wanted to show an example, and hopefully you see this later on in the recording then, Marcus. So that's my little setup I have here. So what I did here is I have a confirmation table with all parameters like yield quantity and confirmation status and date and time, which is automatically evaluated here, and then I fill in this create this message, and I've got a command here just as a topping here that just automatically completes the line here when I'm doing the table line adding. So just to briefly show how this works, and I'm just creating new. I can use that one here. Okay. Creating new reference. For this, I need to release the order, okay, so that I can also really do the confirmations here. Okay. So that's my little setup, and the way it works here is you have this for each phase here. You have a table here, could be at the end of the phase, and you have got your other instructions above. I also included something like phase quantity and the sum quantity of the confirmation so far, and the remaining quantity, just to flesh it out a little bit. And I just enter yield here. see this information is updated. And there are several possibilities how I can really create then these messages. First is I can, with the context menu, say complete table line, like this. Yes, okay. And then you see it's grayed out, and the process message is created. I create a new line here. Second thing is I can anywhere report data, which reports all the data which is available there in the PI sheet, which is also completing this, which also did complete all these lines here, which have no field here. This is because the process message I'm using here doesn't really require the yield. It does only require date and time and the status and order and phase, which I provided here. So it's basically already finished, and I can really also send this. It's just to do a blank confirmation. It's just partial finish confirmation without any yield. That's what it is. What it did. So that is one possibility. You could, of course, also have a signature in the table here in the end, and then do the signature, and then with the signature you would also complete that table line as well. Usually people don't want to have too many signatures, so that's why I normally don't do it. And what I did here for my convenience here is I'm just completing this table line when I create a new line. So I have only, and if it's the last line, I can just complete the PI sheet later on, and then it will also be completed, of course. So these are the different mechanisms to do these partial confirmations. That's what I wanted to show, and just briefly show you my instruction here. So that's my text here I'm using. So this is the phase quantity, which is the parameter I evaluated. The sum quantity, maybe also not so well known, is it's a parameter output, and the parameter, if you have a tabular parameter which is a numeric value, then you can also put out here this special sum in brackets, which displays the sum of the whole table column here, and I've used here a calculation to do the math here simply, and here pretty simple. It's that process measures category here with certain parameters evaluated. You see the mandatory ones here, and those are the date and time here. Special fields here which are evaluated when you complete this element. The status here, the quantity, and that's the command element here for completing the line here. So that's what I wanted to briefly also demonstrate.
Could you just open up the command table line complete, what your cursor is on right now? Because that's what you were talking about, right? Was events.
Yeah,
and this
exactly.
one here, this event that you have is to add a line, and then when that happens.
The command is to complete the line.
Complete the line.
Complete, close table
right.
row, and the trigger is table line adding. So when this line is adding a table line, another table line, then please complete this line. Yeah. So that's how it reads.
Okay.
Okay. I just see in the chat that Dario is there and he can listen, but he cannot speak. So some problems with the phone. Okay, Dario.
I think I could fix it now.
Hi.
Okay. Hello.
So hello. So Dario, any questions from your side? I think you posted something on the topic discussion. Is that you? Yes.
Yeah, but the point was I'm completely new regarding PI sheet or process instruction.
Okay.
So my first idea was trying to discuss the advantages of using it and the use of XSteps. So, but it's an open question. It's not a very specific question.
If
so you can go on with your presentation.
Yes. I mean, we are nearly at the end of today's session, but we can. One recommendation for you: just have a look at the blog here at all the posts. Have a look at some of the sessions. They are also they're rated sessions, so you can also something top-rated articles. You can do that, or you can say here articles, and you can do the rating stuff here.
Arnie,
please.
I should update my first posting because we have advanced a lot regarding the first posting.
Okay.
So no problem.
So I mean, maybe some of these questions are already answered to you. If you've got any other questions you want to put in the ring, please go ahead.
Well, no. Right now we are not working on XStep. Right now, this should be the next step. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We are working with a conventional process instruction.
But you're doing it for external systems or for PI sheet?
No, from PI sheet.
For PI sheet. Okay.
We have some connection with data from shop floor, but in fact this is reading from an Oracle database.
Mm-hmm.
So it's but the operator interface is the PI sheet.
Okay.
And
so you're also using shop floor data like from flow meters, so using OPC data?
Yes, exactly. That's the point. We are reading this flow meter. This is a proposed value to the operator, and the operator could change this value within certain tolerance limits, of course. But we are, in fact, we have done a lot in the development of this PI sheet. And so most of these questions
which
are
customer
almost
are you from a company that uses, or
I am an external consultant.
Okay, so your client, what kind of industry is he in? Biodiesel here, biodiesel.
Biodiesel. So there is a lot in Argentina. There's a lot of companies working on biodiesel, and most of them have SAP. And they want to make easier all the process of processing of process order. So there's a good opportunity. Now,
some questions are pretty easily answered here. So that one with authorizations, there are no specific authorizations for specific entry fields in the PI sheet. So there's nothing you can really do there, except that you could do certain function modules. So you can have a button which calls a function module, which gives you a pop-up, or which first checks a certain authorization of that user, and if he has the authorization, then it offers an entry field in that pop-up, so not in the PI sheet, and then you can enter something there, and then the value is returned back to the PI sheet as a value, and then is only displayed in an output field. So that's how you could make special authorizations for special fields. You could also do at least use signatures to just make sure that only authorized people book or really complete those sections. So maybe somebody can really enter some data, but the real booking is done by somebody else by signing executing the signature. And there with the signature you can do authorization checks in a multiple way. So
regarding this point, we are fighting now against the operator should enter only data in the first frame, so to say, and the second frame or the second process instruction should be locked until the first process instruction is complete. So now we are dealing with this unlock process instruction. We are using the standard.
Okay, great.
So I look a little at your presentation with XStep. And the other point is I am working with a buffer, so the programmer, and this in some cases we should store some intermediate values, these flow meters, in a C table, only for statistics, and but the PI sheet is not yet complete, so we just present this information to the operator. So this guy, the ABAPer, want to know if these variables, which are in the PI sheet but not in the process message, are stored somewhere so he can play with them, because he's used to work with tables and fields. Yeah, I talked to him about using variables, but in some cases there's tables, not a single variable. So he asked me to give him more information about this topic.
Check for tables com H and com E.
Yeah, but this is after the process message has been
no.
saved. No?
Not after it's executed. It's if you let me check.
I mean, if those values are not part of a process message, then of course they are not found somewhere.
Okay.
The data is all found in several tables. Not very easy to come around those tables, and in the XML of the PI sheet as well. So that is maybe a way to find those data. If the data is really essential for you for analysis, then it might be valid to put it in a process message. However, you should be cautious with too large amounts of data. So if you've got mass data, it's probably not something which should belong into PI sheet. I don't know how many data points are we talking about here.
But can I trigger the creation of the process message before closing the PI sheet?
Yes, sure. That's what I did just now with my little demo here. Yeah. So these here, the completion of such a line is triggering a process message.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. And you can there is a special message destination that you can create, which just writes a value to an ABAP table. That's possible without any programming, really.
Okay, but you are working here with XStep. The same applies for conventional process instruction.
The same.
So when I complete a line, so to say, I can trigger the creation of the process message.
Exactly. Okay. Just let me briefly show you what I mean by this process message stuff here. In customizing here, you've got...
It seems to be something like back to school for the other people.
Process messages here. This is where you set up the process message destination.
Yep.
Yeah? And here you see define ABAP table. Yeah? So so that's just I think that's SEL for 11 or something like that. And if you, I don't have any authorizations here, but so you see here the type here can be an ABAP table.
Okay.
And just check that out. And there's a documentation somewhere also that gives you hints how to do that. Yeah. And maybe I find something with ABAP table 4. Is there something for? Yeah, you see. So that's a table destination, and I think that's just a field in that table which is then updated. So that's the address here, probably, or it's the table itself. I'm not entirely sure, but you will find that if you just look up this document here. No. I'm sure there's some documentation which shows you how to do that.
But I could use also a function module that writes into that table. But my problem was to generating the process message before closing the PI sheet.
That's also a possibility.
I can do it. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, you can do both. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Any more questions?
Yes. Maybe a little bit bigger question, and it's about communication between two PI sheets. I just want to have an input in the one PI sheet and to output it in the other PI sheet. And I tried it, but I didn't get it. So
how did you try it? With live parameters?
Yes, that's the error message I get, and I don't know how to deal with it. So
honestly, the live parameters they exist, and I know that they work somehow. I did make them work, but I don't have very good experience with the live parameters, especially if you have more complex data exchange you want to do. So that's my experience.
Okay, yes,
so not making the software too bad now, but it's just a hint. What I or also one of my customers did is they did it with tables.
Exchange tables, yes. Okay.
So they created their own custom tables where they did these exchanges.
Okay, this would the better possibility be to do it. Okay.
Yes. Especially also
a third option, Arnie.
Yes, go ahead.
We did another option. We used the characteristics in the process order and and batch characteristics. So we save the value in the order characteristics, and then we go back to the order to get them with a function module.
Okay, so if you've got very little amount of data, then you could probably do that as well. Yes.
Right. If it's like total number of labels printed or something, we put it, and it's usually things that we repeat across many PI sheets that way. So we reuse those characteristics.
Yeah, that's also valid.
Okay,
of course, that's also
nice.
in the end also just a table.
Exactly. You just don't have to define it yourself, and it's there if you want to look. We also put things in when we build the process order. When the planner creates the process order, we have them put things in those characteristics as the planner, such as expiration dates and that kind of batch information that they can't put someplace else, and then we go get it out of those characteristics as the operator processes the PI sheet. So something else that you can think about doing.
Okay, thanks.
But just one hint, it's very dangerous to do a function module which is writing something in a table and do a commit work within the PI sheet. You should do it with messages which are doing in background the commit work. We had some problems with it, and I was reading the documentation. They said never do a commit work on a function module.
You can do it with a two-step approach somehow. So you can sort of, I think you can call a report which then does the commit work.
Correct.
So that's what you can do, and that should work. So I did do that before. I mean, I had several things where I needed to set a status, for example, of an equipment out from the PI sheet, which in the end involves also a commit work because I need to make that active, and so that in the next step I can again check against it. I'm sure you need to watch out for things. It's not very straightforward, but it's manageable, I think.
Arne, this is Raghu.
Hi, Raghu. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine.
And we found the table that's storing the XStep values, the structure. But the thing is, when you delete the XStep structure and the master recipe, still the table shows the table entry. So we found the table that is CPC _ CMX _ DB _ COR. When you click the XStep, when you start generating XSteps, the table is filled with the entry for each step.
So that is one.
Yeah, I'm just telling you. Previously, I asked you, in the last session or something, to find out the table name, to find whether the XSteps attached to the master recipe or not. Yeah.
Okay.
I will send the table name through the email. And I did one more test for the PI sheet response time when you're adding more lines. For the initial one, it's taking just 2 seconds to report the goods issue. When you go beyond 300, 350, it's gradually increasing. After 350, it's like 20 seconds to report one goods issue. It's keep progressing. Yeah. Is there any way to reduce that one? Because we are using one processor for the whole week, it's going to be more than 1,000 entries in the PA sheet. So the later part, it's taking a lot of time to do the goods issue.
Probably one thing is archiving. So make sure that you regularly archive your PI sheets and process orders so that they can reorganize your data so that the database is not too full. So that's one thing. I think Pascal, you in your company, you had some experience with that. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and so did we. This is we did.
So that's one hint, and database optimization, stuff like that. I experienced that as well with some customers, I think.
Currently, we follow the logic like splitting the order into 2 or 3 instead of having the one order for the whole week, so we can restrict the goods issue lines in the PA sheet.
Which is also valid,
We were told also to split your PI sheets. So what I had to do in an area where we were creating thousands of entries was create PI sheets, multiple PI sheets that had those tables. So once they hit 250, or we set the limit to 250. Once they hit 250 entries in that table, they close that phase and they open up the next PI sheet and they start recording in the next PI sheet. And that keeps your response time down. It just makes you create more sheets. But that's what I was told to do by OSS.
Okay. Yeah, it's just a mess. I mean, we have discussed performance already in this cafe, and if you've got a lot of data in such an object, then of course the performance is decreasing. Yes.
And one final question.
Of the XML.
Pardon?
It's in the rendering of the XML that is in the function module that it's running to render. That takes forever.
I have one final question. If anybody experiencing the problem, like when you do the mass release and COID, the XStep error, if the material is not available in the PSA, but the system is not allowing to release the order if you have deficiency in the PSA for goods issue. But the error is showing like XStep error.
Strange for me. I don't.
What do you mean by PSA?
Yeah, the production supply area that is attached to the storage location with the control cycle. Yeah, the material is consumed. From that production storage location.
Oh, okay. So you're using warehouse management?
Yes.
And you have the production storage location defined in the material master, or not?
Exactly. Yeah, we have a control cycle to connect the material and the production supply area. So.
Doesn't seem to me as an XStep problem. So
it doesn't connect with the XStep, but when you do the mass release, it's giving error.
Yeah,
but once
maybe it's a problem which is sort of after, which is not the initial problem. It's just a follow up problem of that issue maybe. So, but again. Okay.
I had one quick question, Arnie, but I can't put it because we've run out of time. But I'm just wondering if anybody is using intra materials within the processing of PI sheets. Have you ever heard of intra materials?
I've heard of it, but I don't have any experience with that. The others maybe.
But it's an interesting topic because we were considering intra materials as well, but we did not use it so far.
Okay, it's the same for us.
Yeah. So that might be an interesting topic to discuss in a future
If you find somebody who knows about it, because I don't.
Yeah. Well, I might try to build a little prototype. We're actually in an area right now where they coat plates, but prior to coating the plates, they have to make 3 or 4 or 5 different solutions, and they make them within the PI sheet. So it's a very long PI sheet.
Maybe that's a good opportunity to mention again that it's in the system here. This is not a one-way display system here. I can make any one presenter, and anybody could show something if he wants and can do it. The only thing is if you know that you're planning on doing it. Try to come to me beforehand, and we try it out before, because there might be some quick installation thing that you need to do, so that we don't run into that when we're actually doing the session. But that's really really not a problem. We can do that really ad hoc here in that session.
Yeah, if I get it figured out, I'll send you a note and
great.
We can schedule something.
Sure. Okay. Then we had a long session today, so no problem with that. I will post the next date soon, and then see you next month.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.